Would you ever spend $1,000 for dinner at Coachella?
No.
It's been super uncomfortable.
The temperatures reached 105 degrees, and at 7:30, we were all forced outside of our tent to try to find shade that we could continue to sleep in.
They break it in at Coachella.
Not gonna lie, the morale is pretty low right now.
What happened to your eye?
Oh, what are you gonna go in debt to go to Coachella? Oh, okay, were they supposed to save that money for the house they're gonna buy?
In today's episode of I Thought That We Were Broke, people have been going to Coachella on payment plans. According to Forbes, Gen Z and adults are having a difficult time. They're burdened with student debt and having challenges finding a job. But despite the headwinds, this cohort is willing to pay up for experiences as they only live once. And don't we all? Coachella's Buy Now, Pay Later boom reflects a cultural shift prioritizing experiences over financial caution. Festivals offer instant gratification, and Buy Now, Pay Later makes it attainable, even if that means $200 monthly hits later. And y'all, this right here is the most shocking part of it all. About 60% of general admission ticket buyers for the festival use Buy Now, Pay Later plans to secure their passes. Not only did they use it for the passes, y'all, it goes on to say that they leaned on these plans for lodging and merchandise. These costs can run in excess of $1,000 per weekend. And this may be a symptom of customers lacking the cash to fund their desires. Also, it appears that many Americans are maxing out their finances. Most Americans cannot afford a $1,000 emergency. And by most, I mean about 60% of people, which is interesting because that's around the amount of people who are financing Coachella tickets. And now you're probably thinking, well, it's just a Coachella ticket. It can't be that bad, Simone. Calm down. Now, Coachella actually has a weekend 1 and a weekend 2. Now, they already did week 1, and the lowest possible option was $649, and week 2 was $599. This was a general admission, y'all. Now, if you get into general admission plus the 3-day shuttle, we talking $779 for weekend 1 and $679 for weekend 2. But then if we're talking the VIP experience, because I know a lot of y'all want to be fancy, weekend 1 was $1,399 and weekend 2 starting at $1,999. What's crazy is the word starting at, which means it could be more. Now that we know people are running it up on Buy Now, Pay Later options to go to Coachella, let's see what they're actually spending their money on and what the actual festival experience is like at Coachella. So we're going to start off with the food. You know, people ran to TikTok to tell us what the prices was.
We have some chicken shawarma from the booth next door. I just probably dropped like $5 worth of food. Looks very good. It looks very pretty. Okay. Not enough chicken. There actually is like no chicken on here. And the rice is undercooked. Not worth it. I heard this was like $25. So I found one of my favorite spots. They're called Sunny Blue. I paid $20 for 2 rice balls, which is way over what they usually cost, but I get it. Festival fee, whatever. Looking beautiful as usual. Taxing me a little bit more than usual, but whatever. We got the curry chicken, some sweet chicken, some collard greens.
That looks like mac and cheese. And then the last plate she had was some uncooked rice with barely any chicken on it. And she dropped a good portion of that on the ground. Then she didn't even like it. What is going on?
This is it. It's super rich. It's super coconutty. This plate was $22 and it's gonna feed my boyfriend and I.
I don't trust it. I'm sorry. I had never seen curry chicken that looked like that. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm being dead serious. That looks like cheese.
So here's everything I ate in a day at Coachella and how much I spent on everything. The first thing we got as soon as we got there was a nice matcha, where we got the works with vanilla syrup and cold foam. 2 matchas with a 20% tip was about $40.
$40? And now that we know that a lot of people that are at the concert are paying these prices, because y'all know a lot of people like matcha, but using Buy Now, Pay Later for the matcha for $40? That's crazy. And he may not be doing it, but 60%, y'all remember that number as we're going through this whole video. There is nuance to everything. Everybody ain't broke there. But 60% of the people at Coachella don't got it. And they are there getting the matcha. They are there at the food booths. They are there getting the tents. They're there with the VIP wristbands. Just think about that.
For food, we had a Wagyu smash burger with fries and Cambodian-style chicken wings with tip, all for about $75. This was hands down the best bite of the day with the most flavor, and that held us over till night, where I had a Cali burrito with fries, which were crispy and seasoned so nicely, for about $25. And for dessert, an acai smoothie and bowl, which was actually so good and refreshing, for about $40.
$40? This is insane. Why is the food so high? Now, granted, his food didn't look that bad.
In total this day, I spent around $180 on food, not including water and drinks, which just for my drinks, I spent around $40 for a grand total of $220 on food and drinks in a day at Coachella.
And you know, it's kind of sad because I know y'all out there broke. I know. It's stressing me out.
Would you ever spend $1,000 for dinner at Coachella?
No. Ma'am. $1,000 on dinner? Pack it up. And I could be wrong, but something tells me that this person might be an influencer or they're just really stacked with cash. That might be the case too. That's about half of a lot of people's rent.
I think I found the most expensive place to have dinner in the festival, and it's none other than Nobu. There were absolutely no walk-ins. It was reservations only. I'm so dumb. I accidentally booked my reservation for weekend 2, but we were able to work it out on the back end because you have to pay it in full and there's no refunds. It's an omakase menu, so you don't get to pick what you get. The chef picks for you, and it's $350 per person plus 22% included gratuity. Also, if you show up late, they'll give you a bento box to go and you can't even eat it here. But I think that this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience because you can have a Michelin star dinner, and just across from you is the Kasar stage where there's so many artists playing, and if you timed your reservation right, you can literally be eating Nobu while Tiesto was playing. You guys know me, I'll cheap out on certain things and ball out on others, and this I don't regret a bit because it was such a fun experience, and you can watch them make the sushi right in front of you. Sometimes getting omakase is scary because you don't know if you're gonna like the food, but everything that they prepared was so amazing. I did a little taste test vlog as well, and my favorite, the rock shrimp tempura. This gave us enough energy for the day that we were just frolicking around Coachella. Would you ball out for this?
I don't think it was worth $1,000. And then you had to pay an automatic 22% tip. Count me out. Unless I was getting it for free, I'm gonna need some more food to be on that table. What is going on? And I just had to go to the comments for this one. Of course, somebody mentions rent. Somebody else said, read the room, babe. And somebody else commented, girl, none of us can even afford groceries, let alone Coachella, let alone Nobu at Coachella. Into that commenter, I would say that might be true, but they are still there using buy now, pay later. They don't care that they can't afford it. We just seen the statistics. So somebody somewhere is going to go to that same restaurant and they're going to put it on buy now, pay later or a credit card. They're going to go broke trying to go to Nobu and spend $1,000. Like, they are going to go broke going to Nobu for the experience because they only live once. That's sad because y'all got to pay that money back months after all this is said and done. Okay, so she's saying everything she ate first day at Coachella. So she got some steak fries with jalapeno and it's $23. All right, here she has a $20 mac and cheese.
Okay, guys, so I got like mac and cheese from this, the matcha. It's not really cheesy, but it is really hot. So let's give it a try. I got like the mac and cheese with spiced chicken.
With chicken.
It's alright. I got like, it's not that special, but it is good. You know, the food in Coachella is so freaking overpriced. Like, why the fuck is it so overpriced? Like, why are you telling me? Wasn't that enough when I spent $800 on one fucking ticket?
See, so she spent $800 on her ticket. Mercy. And the food is high. I think the food is where they're probably getting people, y'all.
Now, let me live, okay? Like, let me fucking live. But then, you know, I get it. I give it a 6 out of 10. Especially also because it was like $20.
The fact that a lot of people discussing the food don't seem too enthusiastic about it, it's a red flag for me. It seems like a money grab because they know, people got to eat. You gonna eat at a festival, you gonna get hungry.
Here's everything I ate and drank at Coachella. Espresso and tonic, $17. Wow. Truffle fried chicken sandwich from Ichi, fire. Free 99, homie hookup.
Okay.
Double tequila and pineapple juice, $30.
Yeah. Why aren't the drinks as much as some of the meals? Whoa. $30 for a drink is wild. And I ain't even seen no whipped cream on it. Or it was a plain drink. And then you put ice in the drink. And everybody know that ice is cheap. They be filling up the drinks with all this ice. Look, when I go to the restaurant, I tell them no ice with my drink. Don't give me no ice. I already know the play. Filling up most of the cup with ice so I get less of the actual beverage. Give me the beverage. Put the beverage in the fridge and give me that. We don't want all that ice.
And right here, we got a secret menu VIP hookup from the homies at Sandoichi Sandwiches. Right here, A5 Wagyu, caviar, bomb. Oh my God, I had to let it melt in my mouth. Bomb.
Okay.
$30 watermelon mezcalita, $30.
Oh,
street dog, $10.
I know $10 sounds crazy for a street dog, but look, man, it's late at night. And, I'm trying to support the little Mexican ladies, all right?
They said people was breaking into Coachella, selling hot dogs.
It's right here from the homies at the Thai Farmhouse Kitchen. sweet and spicy, sticky fried chicken with the caviar on top. Very bomb as well.
Dole Whip tasting situation, $30.
That's nuts.
Then we got another hookup right here from the homies at the Boiling Crab. They said they got the king crab legs on deck. I got it with the whole shebang sauce. Also free $99. Thank you. Then the homies at Rona LA hooked me up with a delicious vegan cheese pizza.
I mean, luckily for him, he had the hookup on some of that stuff. But y'all, remember he was eating them hot dogs and he said he was trying to support the street vendor? Y'all, look at this video. They break it in at Coachella. At the fence. This is a hot dog stand.
Get me the juicy onions. Yep. Okay, how do I Venmo you?
His hot dog looked just like them hot dogs right there. And that's why I'm pretty sure that might be the small business he was talking about because of how viral this video ended up going on TikTok. Now, I don't know if it's because people are tired of all this expensive food at Coachella and they said, hey, I just want me a little simple, cheap hot dog. Y'all let me know. How do you feel about them breaking in with these hot dog stands to come sell to the folks at Coachella? Do y'all think they're wrong? Or do you think we should be supporting small businesses even if they're breaking in the gate? One thing that I think is not being discussed is some of the food selection. People are in the desert for X amount of days in some horrible conditions. But this is the type of stuff we see people eating, y'all.
Dinner at Coachella. These are supposed to be nachos with hot dogs, chili beans, nacho cheese, and jalapenos. We try to heat it up on the little stove thing, but it was too much power for the power bank that we have, so.
Y'all see all them beans? She's in a tent. She is camping in Coachella, eating beans. All right.
It's a little cold, but it's okay. It's still really good. I'm having it with the cucumber lime electrolyte.
It doesn't look good to me.
What should we have for dessert? We only have like 2 things, so.
She said, what can we have for dessert? Y'all need to be out there eating bland food in them tents because y'all finna blow up them porta potties. Eating beans outside in a tent and it's hot and the cheese.
Honestly, if you chew it while holding your breath, it's pretty good. Just kidding.
No, you weren't.
It's good.
No.
It's good, guys.
She lying. Have y'all ever heard somebody say all good jokes contain a little bit of truth in it? She definitely meant what she said. And I feel like I'm looking at a hot dog right now and some nachos. Somebody in the comments said, you trying to convince us your cold raw nachos are good is too funny. And someone else said, you're brave for eating this while camping. Exactly. All these dang beans. Someone said Coachella seems like hell. And somebody else said, why are they serving diarrhea platters while camping? The porta potty people are making a killing at Coachella. That's why. Now, I wanted to quickly pause this. These are some burgers. A $19 burger. $21, $25, $27, $50, $100. The sparkling lime beverage is $16. Water, $2. A charcuterie board, y'all, I probably said that wrong, $48. More fries, $13. Chips, $9. And another thing I'm trying to understand about these food menus I've been seeing is why does everything seem to have caviar on there? Like, I know people want to be fancy and they're at Coachella, but that one guy had caviar on some chicken. They're putting caviar on burgers. Like, I feel like the people who are doing the planning for events like this are just like, hey, this is where everyone wants to go to be fancy. So what's fancier than caviar? And it's just like, it's not really necessary, but people are going to pay for it because it says caviar on it. And it's like, oh, I got it with the caviar. Why are there tents in the air? Y'all, I wanted to show a little bit of the camping thing going on at Coachella. And yes, those were flying tents. I don't know. This, to me, don't look fun. There's a fire. Look like somebody was trying to cook and don't know how to cook. And they in the wilderness. Look, And now I think we seriously need to ask ourselves, is this the experience that people are spending thousands of dollars on and using buy now, pay later to participate in? It's comical, but at the same time, it's not, because when you realize 60% of these people don't have the money to be even out there in these dangerous situations, it kind of makes you feel bad because it's like you paid for this experience. You paid for your tent to be flying. Okay, so this one here says, POV, your type B friends camping at Coachella. Y'all, this don't look good at all. This looks like unsanitary. There is literal clutter and clothes and all sorts of stuff all on the ground. Shoes everywhere. This is actually a pigsty. They got their Starbucks or whatever type of drink they got though. Crisscross applesauce on a towel. Open drinks on the back of the truck. Y'all, this is the sleeping area. This is where they're supposed to be camping and sleeping at. 2 random pieces of white bread on a truck with a thick slice of cheddar cheese. Then she on the phone scrolling. I just feel like maybe don't be scrolling right now. Maybe like try to organize this since y'all are apparently in there together, because it's 2 of y'all, but neither one of them seem concerned about the living space. Then why do we got a toothbrush on the back of the dirty truck? Like, come on now, y'all. But you got your frappuccinos, though. I don't know what to say about that one, y'all. This was one of the craziest things I done seen.
That's our shower. That's our door. Ooh, I have scissor over here since I love scissor. That is like kind of another door, but we don't really go through that.
Okay.
Trash can, grill, Logan.
This don't look bad.
Table, snacks, water for our showers, ice chest.
Yeah.
All our snacks, our toiletries, our clothes and luggage, our shoes, couch, projector stand.
Where y'all getting couches from? Y'all got art, y'all got decorations and all this. Like, is this normal Coachella? Now, I'm not going to say that I've seen anything necessarily dirty, which is good, but is this normal? Everybody's tents are just decorated like this? Okay, POV, your neighbor's camp catches on fire.
Watch out.
Y'all, it's a flame.
Fire extinguisher.
Oh, God. No, we got it.
And the real blessing about that whole encounter is somebody actually had a fire extinguisher. That was smart. Like, after seeing videos with multiple fires in Coachella, I think that is a great thing to add to the list. Whoever did that was smart. But some of y'all out there, y'all ain't used to being outside. You're not used to camping. Y'all out there burning the hot dogs, burning the burgers, burning the air. And I know the food is high, but it actually might be safer for some people just to go to the food trucks because fires spread really fast. And everybody's tents at Coachella are so close to each other.
Now that I'm finished camping at Coachella, I thought I'd give you my full review on their newest product, Ready Set Tent. This package was sold to me as everything I'd need to camp: the tent, sleeping bags, air mattress, and a light. But trust me when I tell you I needed so much more. The temperatures reached 105 degrees, and at 7:30 we were all forced outside of our tent to try to find shade that we could continue to sleep in. The interior of the tent reached about 200 degrees and all of our toiletries melted, including the lids and plastic bottles. On a good note, the porta-potties were located right at our campsite. Unfortunately, they were right beside the tent and often didn't smell so great. And then there were the service vehicles that drove day and night, creating so much dust. At nighttime, if the vehicles didn't keep you awake, the generators did. For these lights, the lights that they kept on all throughout the night. You could never tell if it was day or nighttime in your tent. Everything was lit up bright orange. The total package cost me about 1,000 Canadian dollars, and as a first-time camper, it definitely was not a very favorable experience.
The way that they were spread out in broad day because the tent was too hot, it already lets me know enough. He said it was 100-something degrees. Someone said it's giving FEMA camp. I can totally see it. It does kind of look like a natural disaster happening, like everybody just outside. And I probably wouldn't agree so bad if they didn't look miserable. They don't look like they're having fun. And I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of y'all say y'all couldn't join the military, but the amount of times I just slept outside on the floor so many times I lost count. Porta-johns, not having good food. To me, this is giving military training event. It definitely is. If you ever go to an infantry unit, forget the cot. Good luck on the tent. We just gonna be on the ground. So some of y'all already ready. Y'all want to do the military. Y'all wanted military training. Y'all could have just said that.
We are camping in my truck. No air conditioning. How hot was it? It was really hot. I'm not gonna lie. It was so unbelievably hot. I expected it to be absolutely blistering.
Okay.
However, every morning when I wake up in the truck, the sun comes through and I literally can't even help my eyes just start crying. I just start crying the second I wake up.
And I'm not gonna lie, y'all. She looks extremely hot. She just kind of looks sweaty to me. You ever seen somebody just have a long day outside? And it's no shade towards her because I actually think she looks really nice. But she looks extremely hot. And I've seen a lot of people doing like the Coachella outfits and everything and how they're getting dressed and seen some very nice looking outfits. And I think her outfit is cute. But it kind of sucks to have like your hair nice and your outfit nice and everything looks so nice. And then you're just melting because the sun is extremely hot. Not to mention, this is what people paid to do. They paid to be hot and to melt in the sun and in their car and in these tents. But y'all, it gets worse from here. Y'all, they got snakes at Coachella. Just in the tents. You see how big these snakes are? Now, I know a lot of y'all are not snake people. But y'all want to go to Coachella and go into debt, use buy now, pay later. And not only does this not look fun whatsoever, but there's snakes. Now, if I seen a spider, I'm about through. Spiders is my thing. I might be able to do a little snake. That ain't no little snake. It's a big snake. And because of all of the stuff we have seen in some of these videos, some people said Coachella just ain't for them. They gotta go.
Hey friends, I have decided that we are no longer going to be staying at car camping. We went ahead and got a hotel just because it's been super uncomfortable. Like, I woke up with the worst back pain. My sinuses are super clogged. The dust is super bad. The wind is super bad. I know that these are aspects of camping. I've done the camping before, but I just think if I want to laugh all weekend, like, I need to be like fully well rested. and getting good sleep and getting a good shower in, and being here will literally want to make me leave after today. Like, I need to go to a hotel. I'm so sorry.
And honestly, everybody is not built to be out there like that. Some of y'all acting like y'all have done Survivor before. Y'all are acting like you've been out in the desert and you know how to survive. You've been in the elements and you haven't. Not saying he has it. I'm just saying a lot of people have not. They honestly lost me at volunteering for 100+ degrees outside in a tent with no AC. No, essentially paying to be uncomfortable. Why would I pay for discomfort? That don't make sense. So I'm not mad at him. But another thing I was thinking about is the people who are saying, hey, they can't do the car camping, like the outside tents and everything is too much for them. If they already were broke and they are now trying to find a hotel, do y'all know that those hotels are about to be so expensive, especially because they know everybody is in town for Coachella, and this is why if you don't have money, you can just continue to bury yourself into debt because the situation is just going to pile up from there. And now the expensive hotel room is about to become yet another expense that 60% of these people can't even afford. And even if some of these people wanted to go to a hotel, they're so broke that they can't go. They're already in debt. They already have pushed their limits. They probably already maxed out their credit cards. And it's really sad because a lot of people end up buried in so much debt because of stuff like this. It's this now attitude. Now, I was thinking to myself, the lodging situation I've seen so far ain't been looking the best. But I was wondering, how are they using the bathroom? What does that look like?
Now we're just trying to find the flushable toilets that come with our site, and no one knows where they are. Like, no one knows. Not gonna lie, the morale is pretty low right now. I've asked like 12 different people where the flushable toilets are. No answer. Looking next to that thing. The dust is so bad. I hate to be a complaining bitch, and I've tried to be positive this whole time, but it is crazy how unorganized this place is. There are no workers in sight, and the ones that I do get a hold of can't even tell me where the toilets are at all. And it's like, okay, first world problems, but you pay a lot of money. Me especially, like, that was one of the pros to this, like, new powered car camping site was having flexible toilets, and I don't know where they are. It also doesn't help that we literally were waiting in lines for 7 hours. And literally in the past, I've driven in, no problem. But it's really giving Firefest this year, like, what? I'm trying to be positive, I'm trying to get the vibes up, but I'm being #real. This is, like, not particularly fun right now.
Now, she was struggling to find the flushable toilets, which I think is actually good that she even had an option to have a flushable toilet, because this is some of the stuff that the other people are dealing with that have to use the porta-johns at Coachella. And y'all, it was so bad I couldn't even show you guys, but let me just say the porta-johns were filled to the brim. This definitely is not a luxury Coachella experience by any means. So this is what people paid thousands of dollars. 60% of the concert goers at Coachella paid thousands of dollars for this level of discomfort. This is actually shocking to me. And I'm still with her on that. Whether you use buy now, pay later, or you actually have the money to go to Coachella, I just think that they should do better. They know there's a large amount of people over there eating nachos with beans in it. They know what they're serving. They know they got cheese and everything. A lot of people lactose intolerant, and they got the YOLO lifestyle going on right now. What did we expect? Do we think that they're out there eating a healthy, clean meal that's not going to have them having the runs? Everything that I've seen so far was fried or just really expensive. So most people probably ain't going to get the expensive acai bowl that's $40. They're probably going to get that $40 burger that got all that grease in it. Or they're going to get the nachos with the beans and they're going to have the runs. You get what I'm saying, right? Or you're going to get the mozzarella cheese so you can take your video with the cheese coming out your mouth. You know what type of stuff people get at the festival food. Coachella, y'all know them folks was going to have the runs. Least y'all could do is make sure that the porta-johns is empty. Least y'all could do is have a full staff there whenever them porta-johns get full, because they were stacked to the brim. Another thing I want to point out is that this is not the experience that a lot of other people are having at Coachella. Everything that I have showed you so far, people are calling it brokechella, which is aka the broke part of Coachella, or just regular Coachella. There is a whole nother side of Coachella that we ain't even tapped into yet. And it's not looking like this, y'all. So as we go forward in this video, I want y'all to keep in mind the stuff that you're seeing going on this side of Coachella. I won't call it brokechella.
You're not allowed to poop in an RV when you're staying in an RV, and pooping in porta potties is kind of gross. So Allie bought a $20 toilet on Amazon.
Shit's getting through that. See how you are. You're gonna take me. I'll see you in a few. I'll check the bag if there's steak.
Oh.
Can you hand me my phone? It's gonna be a while.
So this is the toilet, y'all, because they're not trying to poop in the RV, which I can understand. So this is a pop-up poop area. She got the little poop bag. She doing the run.
I mean, what an incredible experience. I cannot wait for you to try it.
And honestly, her experience was probably 10 times, 11 times, 1,000 times better than what we just seen going on in the Porta Johns. Now, I know what you're thinking. We've talked about the food. We've talked about the lodging. We've talked about where they're using the bathroom. But what about the showers? Because naturally, at a concert, people be musty. So there is actually a sign that says, don't poop in the showers. Whenever I see a sign that says something like that, I am going to assume that the sign is there because something like that probably has happened before. But it's actually very sad. Caption of this says, these signs weren't here last weekend. Who did it? And the answer to that is somebody. We don't know who it was, but somebody for sure took a number 2 in the shower. Keep in mind, this is what people have gone into debt for. Okay, so this says being broke at Coachella, 2-hour wait for showers. Y'all, this is the line, 2-hour long line for a shower at Coachella. And it continues to get worse from here. And this is the reality of showering at Coachella from a different angle. And people are upset, and here's why.
We've been waiting in line for like an hour and a half to take a shower.
Wow.
Why are you guys taking everything showers at Coachella? Take them at home. Which this should just be like a rinse. Yeah.
Then she said it should be a rinse. She told y'all how to shower.
The guys' line is literally going by like 5 times faster than ours. I'm paying for my shower tomorrow.
And you want to know what's even crazier is that you have to pay to get a quicker shower. I'm assuming this is the free shower for the people that didn't want to pay extra money for a shower. Like, this is nuts. Coachella is making money off of people left and right. And it's really exposing, like, hey, normal people that have a lot of money or seem like they have a lot of money, they could just be going into more debt. But it seems like it's exposing the differences between people who have it and people who don't. And here is why.
Okay, 7:30 a.m. It's time to take a shower. The super duper showers are so long, but the regular showers, there's no line. This is the line for the super duper showers right now. That is crazy. We go up the stairs. Okay, perfect example. Here's one that's empty and a hook.
Now, I don't know what a super duper shower is, but it seems like wherever she is showering, nobody's really there. I don't know if that's because she paid more, but nonetheless, I don't think that those people are standing in a very long line for no reason.
Our situation at Coachella is awful, and people on TikTok are always posting videos saying that most attendees don't even clean up after themselves. So you just feel dirty the whole time.
And what he just said couldn't be illustrated any better than what we are seeing right here, y'all. People are walking over all of this trash. People are throwing their trash all over the floor. No regard for what anybody is about to step in. They literally do not care. And they're not going to pick it up. There's a whole crew responsible for the cleanup at Coachella. And I know that this is a concert, but this is Coachella. This is the place that everyone's raving about and going into debt about, using buy now, pay later. And it's definitely giving landfill. And it's only fair that we now go to the rich side of Coachella, the side that everybody online is talking about and making their comparisons to the side that I just showed y'all. Now, this is a breakdown of the Coachella Safari tent experience. And as you can see here, it says $10K for tier 1 pricing. And y'all, this looks pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. Now, a lot of people online have been going back and forth about, hey, the people that are in these areas here, they're not getting the real Coachella experience. They're living a luxury experience and all this different stuff. But y'all, what do we expect? The grass look better over here. I don't know what to say. Whoever this is clearly in the front too. Look at this. Look how nice this looks, y'all. This is not the experience that I have been seeing on the other side of TikTok. Then they say they save so much on food and drinks, $80. I wonder why that may be, y'all. Why is their food and drinks only $80 and everybody else for one thing is like $50? Then they said total they spent $4,515 the whole stay. Now, that might be a lot more than what a lot of other people on the other side paid. And they also ended up saying here that they added their brother, so they split the $13K into 3 parts, so it was around $4,333 per person. Now, I say it was very smart to split it, but $4,000 is a lot of money to a lot of people right now. And as I said, a lot of people are financing this stuff either through their credit card or buy now, pay later. $4,000 would take a lot of people months to pay off. And this is for a concert. This is not a necessity. This is for a concert that people wanted to go to. They had a strong desire to go to. And what's crazier is that was split amongst 3 people. Now, if you just trying to go there and be fancy by yourself, you're going to spend probably about $10,000. So here we got Coachella campgrounds. This is $12,000, y'all. $15,000. $30,000. And y'all, the experience is night and day. They got golf carts, the grass look all manicured and clean. The inside looks great. Don't get me wrong, but this is a lot of money. The average person is not just over here having this luxury experience at Coachella, and I know a lot of y'all want to. I know that this is actually the experience most people want to have. They want to be able to record this and be like, hey, I was living the dream. I was living like I had all this money, y'all. Next year when Coachella rolls around, please do not feel like you are less than or you need to go out and go bury yourself into debt because everybody and their mom did it this year. If you want to go, if you save appropriately and you make sure that all of your other responsibilities are taken care of first, I don't really see a problem if you can afford to do it. But y'all, times are hard, and that's what we need to talk about. In this economy, everybody wants to act like they're rich and have this YOLO mentality and live like the dang Kardashians and keep up with the Joneses. Once this is all said and done, reality is going to hit. You will have to face normal life just like everybody else, and nobody's going to care that you spent your last running it up on buy now, pay later, going to Coachella. Your boss is still going to want you to clock in at the end of the day. You still going to have to go back to school. You still got to pay back your student loans. You still got to pay back the rest of that debt you got. You still got to go back home and take care of your kids once you get done with Coachella. Once this concert is over, it's back to real life. You're going to be snapped back to reality like everybody else. I know a lot of people have this YOLO mentality like we need to do it now. What do we need to save for? But I fear that now a lot of people have lost hope. And now they are feeling like, hey, everything else ain't going right for me. I might as well go into debt. Y'all, it's not going to get better. I'm telling you, buy now, pay later, Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, all of these payment plan options that y'all are trying to do, they are not your friends. A lot of y'all have not even put into the budget the idea that you have to pay back all of this money that you're going to spend. And that's when you'll be using your credit card. And y'all, this is when life be happening. And then you're going to say, I don't got no money. It's like, yeah. Your money is going towards debt. That's kind of how it works, y'all. You spend money before you have it. Something else happens, then you don't got that.
I'm camping at Coachella for the very first time, and I wanted to bring a piece of my apartment out into the desert. I already set up the canopies, but let's set up the rest. Of course, we got to start with the tarp, and did I bring an entire rug out into the desert? Yes. I was really going for like classic vintage camping site, but a little bit more elevated, so I just brought this folding table, put this tablecloth on top for some color, and no campsite's complete without a bed that I, of course, had to add my personal touch to. And for seating, I brought this director's chair and a few collapsible chairs, and as much as I wanted a vintage cooler, I couldn't find one in time, so this one's gonna have to do. I did, however, find this really cool vintage trunk for all of my clothes that I packed in. And there was no way this tourist was going to go a whole weekend without a whole bunch of snacks. The table was looking a little bare, so I set up some knickknacks. Just kept it classic Coachella cowboy vintage. And then I used my cowboy hats that I'm wearing this weekend as decor, and even tied a few of my bandanas on the wall. And it just felt right to grab this little cactus when I was packing for the trip. And I even have a little shower set up in the corner. And that's the setup. I'm really happy with how it turned out. What do you think? I think I successfully brought my home into the desert, and I think I'm in for a pretty cozy weekend if you ask me.
A lot of people were upset with this video on the rich side of Coachella talk because they felt like he was doing a lot with the decorations, and I'm going to have to agree with them. I just feel like decorating and doing all this extra stuff, and I think we seen a video of somebody doing that earlier, bringing the cactus plant and talking about the aesthetic that he's trying to go for. He said cowboy something. It makes me feel like that's more so for the video, because there's no way that you felt it necessary to do all of this stuff. Like, do you have a fire extinguisher? Do you have actual necessities? It seemed like to me he was more focused on the actual look of Coachella than the actual experience, if that makes sense. I feel like if you cared about the decorations and all of that, then you should just maybe go to a hotel, because people aren't there to be decorating and doing. I don't understand. Y'all are there for like 3 days. Why did you need a cactus plant? And in another video, I can't find it right now, but somebody was saying he can't be like this in real life. And I'm like, yeah, there's no way. Or are you like that in real life? Someone posts rich side of Coachella.
Okay, so we just got to our safari tent. There's 2 beds.
So they got 2.
2 nightstands, mirror, little AC unit.
The bathrooms are right there, and then these are the showers.
Their bathrooms. So do y'all remember what the other bathrooms look like? They got manicured grass and all that, palm trees. The sun is just shining perfectly on their side. What is going on? It's giving Hunger Games at this point.
So there's golf carts. He just offered to like take me back to my tent, which is really cool. If you don't want to walk, people bring their inflatable pools and fill them up, and it's really cute. These are really cute. Look at this one.
Y'all, they got tents out there with pools.
On our way to the breakfast area, it's in this tent right here that has AC and it feels really nice in there.
Y'all got muffins, golf cart service. Y'all, this is night and day. They look like it was a gated area too. What in the world is going on, y'all? They are in a gated, closed off spot. And she gotta be like VIP or something.
And before you say it, yes, it is expensive. It costs a minimum of $10,000 depending on if you do 2 or 4 people for this full experience.
I didn't know it was a minimum of 10. So everybody over there in the safari experience has spent at least 10 grand. Wow.
And no, this was not sponsored. We are very grateful and privileged that we were able to afford this. And we split the cost between 4 of us. And no, this isn't daddy's money. We own and run 3 businesses. So we're going to break down what this includes. We'll let you know whether we thought it was actually worth the money or not for the full experience. First up, when you arrive, it took us about 10 minutes to find parking, go through security, and get a golf cart over to our tent. This is what the safari tent looked like. It came with a fridge, air conditioning, towels, a dresser, desk, full body mirror, and our Coachella wristbands, which you can pick up at check-in. Next, this is what the bathrooms and showers look like. They gave you toothbrushes, sunscreen, makeup remover. They gave you basically any amenity that you needed. And this was one of the best parts because after being out all day dancing in the 100-degree weather and covered in dust, we could come back and freshen up without waiting in lines. Next up was food. So we arrived at the tent on Thursday. When you check in, you get dinner and they had an Aperol Spritz welcome party. And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you get breakfast from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. and late night snacks from around 9:30 p.m. to 2 a.m., which were all incredible. We also got breakfast to go on Monday when we were leaving the campsites. Another thing that we loved is that in the safari camp, you can order your merch to avoid the lines inside of Coachella, and they'll deliver it to your tent for you. You can sign up for complimentary massages daily. You get complimentary ice. They fill up your pool with their hoses on site. You can even place grocery orders at the front desk if you want anything, and they'll pick it up for you. And then they even had hair and makeup pop-ups for a fee if you wanted to add on those services. Now let's talk about what it gets you at the actual festival. The safari tent gives you access to their golf cart service, which means that we could leave the safari camp anytime and they would drive us directly to the stage that we wanted to go. It saved us a lot of time and a lot of walking, and it helped a ton when it was really hot outside and we were exhausted. It also gave us guest wristbands, so we were able to have incredible viewing areas. This allowed us to show up to some sets and literally walk up to the rails without having to wait all day. The last thing I'll mention too is the difference between doing safari tents for weekend 1 and 2. Weekend 1 was a lot busier, a lot more influencers and celebrities, a lot more people that were a little high-strung, lash out over the smallest things because weekend 1 just had a different vibe. Last year we went to weekend 2 and it was a lot more chill. No one was in a rush. Everyone was there to have a good time. And it felt like the crowd had a lot more energy and actually enjoyed the artists instead of just wanting to capture photos all day. So if you want a more chill experience, I would do the tents on weekend 2, but you might not get as good of surprise guests. Overall, would we do safari again? Absolutely. It was expensive, but in our opinion, it was definitely worth it. It was about $3,000 to $4,000 per person when we split it up between the 4 of us, and we are so thankful that our jobs and businesses allow us to afford an experience like this. Considering VIP tickets alone are around $1,400, we thought this was totally worth it for everything that it included. Let us know in the comments. Do you think that this experience is worth it?
That is a night and day difference. I think this is the side of Coachella people want to be on. This is the experience. I'm not gonna lie. If I was to go, which likely I would never, it's just not my scene. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I don't want to be out there with the poop potties piling up. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to pay for discomfort. They look a lot more comfortable. I feel like for the prices they're charging for every single thing that, you know, most of us would have on a normal day, like at your house, you got AC. At your house, you got food. At your house, you got a bed. Like having to go out and not only pay a lot of money going outside of your house, but having to pay a lot of money to be uncomfortable and having to pay a premium price for what you could get at your house. I just feel like, hey, get some popcorn and look at Coachella online or stream it however they're going to show it online, because I know there's a way, and have a Coachella party, because unless you really got it, I don't think that it would be worth it. If you got money to blow, and I'm talking about blow money, it's a little bit different. Now, you know, I definitely got to see what the people on TikTok are saying about Coachella in 2025. And from the caption of this video right here, I can already see where this one is finna go. It says, Coachella debt is fine. In fact, I encourage it. Pound Coachella, pound Klarna, pound debt, pound economy, pound Simone says pound, not hashtag. You heard me? Have to remind y'all I'm a millennial.
60% of people who bought Coachella general admission tickets paid for them with a payment plan. Everyone's being like, oh, that's so irresponsible. What are you going to go in debt to go to Coachella? Oh, okay. Were they supposed to save that money for the house they're going to buy? For the kids they're going to have? There is no house There are no kids they're going to have. Our generation isn't getting that. Okay. The economy is bad. I don't really understand. Eggs are $82. Everything's $1 billion. And then also like China's on TikTok being like, by the way, everything you spend money on is actually made for 10 cents. And you can just DM us and get it from us. And we'll pay you to get it from us. Like it's so, for people like myself that have never understood math, like in the 9th grade, I was mistakenly put into honors math. And then I was dishonorably discharged back down to dumb math. For people like me, money, economy, this has never made sense. So yeah, we will be in debt for the rest of our lives.
Who's we?
One more thing.
Who's we? Y'all be speaking a lot of French. I'm just saying. Y'all always trying to include everybody else in what you gonna do. You're on your own, ma'am. I don't know you. And neither do the people on TikTok.
What's one more thing? Did I go to Coachella? No, I'm too scared of sweating that much. But if I could be at Coachella with air conditioning around me at all times and nobody could touch me and I was in the front row for every show, then yeah, I would go in debt to go to Coachella.
And I fear that this is probably the majority of people agreeing. At this point, people are just like, hey, why do I need to be responsible? Even though if I even did want a house and the market does correct itself or I did end up having some sort of opportunity, my credit's going to be messed up. I'm going to have so much debt that there's not going to be much I can do about it. And it's really sad to hear because even if the opportunity presented itself to a lot of people who think like this, they wouldn't be ready. And I fear that a lot of people think that everything that's going on right now is going to go on forever. And it's just like, no, that's just right now. But everyone is so stuck in, oh, this is going on right now. I'm never going to be able to do this. I'm never going to be able to do that. And I'm of the belief if you feel like that, then you likely will stay exactly where you are. You will probably be stagnant. You probably won't be able to do the things you want to do. And I'm not saying that the economy isn't hard, but I'm saying if an opportunity ever did passed your way, you would have victimized yourself so bad that you wouldn't even be able to seize a opportunity because you're buried in debt. You've made so many bad decisions. And what will end up happening is you'll see people who did not make those same decisions that you made being able to do the things you're not able to do. And I say that with somebody who's experienced that in real life. A lot of the people who made different decisions got different outcomes. And then what ends up happening is they look at those people and say, oh, you're lucky. But they were talking like this. Do you see what I'm saying? Stuff has to be intentional, y'all. Your current situation you're in right now does not have to be the same situation you're in for the rest of your life. Just because you flipping burgers right now don't mean in 10 years you're going to be still flipping burgers. You can do things to try to elevate. That's up to you what you do. And you can also do things that'll either keep you stagnant, stuck, or in a even worse situation than when you first started out. You can bury yourself into debt, getting car loans, buying a bunch of stuff you can afford, going to concerts that you know you can't afford to be at, because believe it or not, $4,000 will set a lot of people back years. So don't get me started if y'all are in there trying to get that $10,000 package and putting that on Klarna. A lot of people's pay from their job wouldn't allow them to pay that money back. So I don't subscribe to this whole idea of debt is fine, debt is not fine. If you're in debt, you should try your best to get out of debt because the people who are swimming in debt are being affected in their real lives. It could be as simple as trying to move into a new rental home or get an apartment or get a car that you're trying to finance, because a lot of the people swimming in debt are also the same people relying on their credit because they don't have money in real life. So they think that they can spend all this money and put it on debt and then also look for people to say, hey, can I rent from you? I'm trustworthy, and they pull your credit report and you got loans everywhere. They don't want to lease nothing to you. Now you're getting higher interest rates than if you were actually responsible with your money and paid people back and didn't just buy stuff you didn't need and didn't care about being in debt and over consuming and living above your means. But that's not the story we're going to hear on TikTok. The story we're going to get is everything is so high. Oh, they're charging so much. Why are interest rates so high? They're not talking about their collections that they're not paying, but they'll get on here and say, oh, no one's able to buy a house or get an apartment. Like, I can't get approved for this or that. Granted, right now, the housing market is not the best, but I'm saying if you're making it worse for yourself, that is on you. If you are running up debt for stuff you don't need, that is on you. The interest rates are going to be whatever they're going to be, but you can either make it worse or you can make it better. That's the truth. Stay out of debt, y'all. Buy now, pay later. Klarna is not your friend. They're not your friend. Keep trying to tell y'all. Y'all like to tussle in the comments, and y'all can join the military. And the way that y'all are camping outside, some of y'all should, because you'd be perfect for it.
It's diabolical to me the way that people with money will spend money to feel like they don't have money, okay? Case in point, Coachella. Case study number 1, Coachella. All these people spending all this money to sleep in a tent, no running water, porta potties, camp showers, right? They're spending all this money for an experience that's worse than a KOA campground. And I know people are going to say, I'm being a certified hater because it's about the music, the experience, the this and that. But really, it's about, come on. Because some of these setups I'm seeing, some of all this and that, no. We need to link up and we need to start coming up with ways that we can start charging these people for other experiences. Because what are you talking about? You're paying all this money for what essentially was my family vacation at 8 years old. My father and I going to the Poconos for 2 nights, 1 night in a Ramada Inn, 1 night in a KOA campground. The Ramada Inn night was the fancy night. And then we acquired some wristbands to get into the Great Wolf Lodge Indoor Water Park. And you're paying all this money. What can we charge? Grocery shopping? Standing in line in a benefits office. I'm telling you, we can start charging. And listen, we can start charging these people for these experiences. They want to experience what it's like. We can make it happen. Listen, and I'm being so for real when I say this. Imagine if we set up housing, like tents, showers, porta potties for people that didn't have housing. How would people react? And I know people are going to say I'm dragging it, right? Because it's a music festival, not a fair comparison. But if I'm dragging it, answer that question. How would people react? Money.
Interesting. But I have to agree with him on his point that I don't think it's just about the music either. I think it's about how you're being perceived by people and what it looks like to other people. Like, did you have the VIP wristband? Were you in the safari area? Were you on that golf cart with that manicured grass? Were you getting massages and all that? Like, what type of experience were you having? And I'm not going to lie, I don't think that many of the people who had money might have been out there cosplaying, but they definitely could have been. But why would they have wanted to cosplay if they actually had the money to be in the safari section? I don't know, because it was looking hot in some of them areas. I don't care how nice they had it decorated. It was still hot. I don't think they had no AC. But that one guy that was setting up the cactus and everything like that, he might have been doing it for the aesthetic. And he might have just been a little extra. I don't know.
Y'all are going to call me out of touch for this. You're going to call me a rich girl. I already know it. I'm going to say it anyway. I'm worried for the girlies camping at Coachella. I saw that Ready, Set, Tent video, which, beyond the fact that I am not meant to live that uncomfortable of a life, but how do you stop a random man from just unzipping your tent and getting in? I'm scared for your safety. How do you lock it from the inside? And then how the fuck do you get out if there's an emergency and you need to get out? I'm worried for you ladies.
Now, she's genuinely concerned about people's safety, the people that were in that zip-up tent that we showed earlier. I don't see nothing wrong with that. But if she's saying that from the safari area, like, I don't know how y'all are doing it, like with her robe or whatever. That would be nuts. But if she's genuinely concerned about the safety, that's valid.
If you're at Coachella this weekend, make sure to wash your makeup off. This is my friendly older sister reminder that no matter how drunk you are, no matter what you're on, no matter how sleepy or tired you are, wash your fucking makeup off, okay? One, because you're beautiful and your skin will reward you, but also because you can get a sty that can turn into something else, and then you'll end up having to get it removed, and it is not fun, and it's gross.
I know that the people were having a good time, and I know a lot of people said that Coachella wasn't sanitary, but it's really making me wonder. That is scary, and I feel really bad for her.
The last thing I'll ever say about Coachella is you do not need to be going if you are poor. If you are not getting paid to be there, or if you do not have an abundance amount of money, you're going to suffer. If you're poor, save up your money for Rolling Loud tickets, Lollapalooza, Lyrical Lemonade, or a concert of your choice, but you're going to suffer.
And I agree, because I think when we say the word poor, like, again, this is not a necessity. This is a concert. We haven't even talked about the actual cost it takes for a lot of people to get there. Transportation, lodging, however they decide to do it, is expensive. Coachella is not for poor people. It's not for broke people. And the reason is because it's an expensive experience. That doesn't mean that poor people are less than the people who are there, because that's never the case. But this is actually out of a lot of people's tax bracket. That is the truth. This could set many families back, many people back, college students back. They don't have the money to afford this stuff, and they out there doing it anyway on Klarna, buy now, pay later options. Yeah, it's not for poor people, because this is going to make you even more poor. It's also not for people living paycheck to paycheck. It's also not for people who haven't budgeted for it. It's also not for the people who are going to go into debt about it. It is for people who can afford it. That's the truth. And I would love for everybody to be able to go to Coachella and have a great time. Reality is, we all have to do what our pockets can afford, or we will pay the consequences for those decisions.
Legitimate question.
How am I supposed to live like a fulfilling life if I can't afford to do anything fun? And I'm not talking like your general, like, oh, let's just go get drinks or whatever, because obviously that doesn't cost much. But I'm saying like big events, fun things, like things that you look back at years later and you're like, yeah, I'm really happy I did that. Like everyone I know, I feel like, is like going to big concerts or seeing their favorite artists or like traveling somewhere they've never been before, going to music festivals. And it's just like, I can't do that.
And that's okay. And that's what y'all got to realize is y'all are doing a lot of looking around at what other people are doing. Look at yourself. Stop looking at them. Stop being so concerned about what they're doing. Focus on how you can one day afford to be there if you really want to go. Focus on budgeting. Focus on trying to find more ways to make more money so you can afford to go there. Focus on that. I think people's attention is so focused on this person is doing that you're not worried about how you can do it. That's why you're not going to go. And if you go, you're going to go using buy now, pay later. Make it make sense. Focus on you. I just feel like people's energy is always outward. What about inward?
I've never even like paid to just go to a concert because I've either just like not had the funds or the time. Okay. I've been to one singular music festival in 2023 and I kept things as cheap as physically possible and still spent almost $1,000. And even though I got to see some of my favorite artists in the entire world and I had an absolutely amazing time and I would love to do it again, I will never do that again because I can't justify that price. Like, this is niche, but Dimension 20 was doing all these live shows. And as soon as they announced them, I saw that one of them was happening on my birthday. And I don't get to go. It's across the country, but I wouldn't even be able to afford tickets, even if I lived there.
What is the legitimate question you have? Debt? Get more money? Or don't go. Logically, y'all give me some other options that you have. You don't have no other. Hello? Other option might be become an influencer and go for free. Some of them are doing that. But just really think about what are your options. Don't compare yourself to everybody else and, oh, they're able to do that, do this. What are your real options? And this is why critical thinking is so important. Just think about it, y'all. And if you ain't gonna go, what complaining about it? What you complaining about it for? You could be using this energy to go figure out how you're going to be able to go. I don't understand people.
Coachella at literal hell. If you chose not to go, congrats, you officially avoided all this disasters. You didn't have to sit in car lines for 12 hours to get into the campgrounds and crap in the shrubs like feral animals. You didn't camp in 101-degree weather and have to wait hours in line every single day just to take like a 5-minute shower. You didn't have to crash in your tent after a full day on your feet just to get no sleep thanks to nonstop 4 a.m. music drops. You didn't have to suffer through overpriced food that somehow still doesn't taste that good, such as spending $60 on 2 burritos and 2 drinks, or $12 to $13 for an iced coffee. If you say you'd never camp at Coachella, better check if your bank account can handle a $2,000 a night Airbnb. Yeah, there's one more way to get in, but I'm not sure you'd be down for that. This is the side of Coachella that nobody talks about. Like, all y'all see on social media is your favorite influencers and all that, and brands turning up at the festival. But let's not forget one thing, they're rich enough to pull it off. If you couldn't afford Coachella or skipped it this year, hopefully all of this makes you feel a little lucky.
Y'all, I just gotta know, would you go to Coachella using buy now, pay later? How do you feel about 60% of people attending the concert actually attending using buy now, pay later options? Have you ever been to Coachella, or would you go into debt to go to Coachella? And what was the craziest part of this video, y'all? I know it was a lot, but we have to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.